Today we're looking at something pretty interesting from Université de Moncton. It's their partner profile questionnaire. Now, this isn't just, a form to fill out. It's more like a detailed blueprint they use
Right?
for building these really solid partnerships, especially in the medtech world.
Yeah, that's a key focus.
So our mission today, we want to figure out the thinking behind how a big university like this finds and, connects with good partners.
Yeah, and what they really look for.
Exactly. What are the non-negotiables for them? Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, the first thing to get is that this questionnaire isn't just theoretical. It's not something they just dreamed up.
Okay.
It's actually built on what they call an empirical model. So it grew out of real talks, real engagement with people.
Like stakeholders.
Yeah, stakeholders at the NB MedTech Summits. Université de Moncton was the academic lead there.
So it's grounded in actual experience.
Precisely. Every question in there comes from dealing with real-world partnership issues. It's tried and tested.
That practical angle makes it much more valuable, doesn't it? And one strategy that jumps out right away is this idea of mapping the ecosystem. They use it to spot the best potential partners. But what does that actually, look like when you're using this questionnaire?
It means they've structured it to tackle the usual worries, the things that often stop collaborations from, being economically viable.
The roadblocks.
Exactly. The questionnaire brings those potential problems up right at the start, turns them into things you can actually discuss.
Which probably saves a lot of time later.
A lot of time. And it seriously boosts the chances of forming partnerships that are not just good ideas, but actually fundable.
Right.
Their ecosystem map, for example, it covers 7 main groups. You've got your product and service companies,
Okay.
incubators, the users like patients and doctors,
Clinicians, health pros.
yeah, governance bodies, funding agencies, the health authorities themselves, and of course, researchers.
Wow, that's broad. It covers pretty much everyone involved. It's designed to make sure all the bases are covered.
Okay, so you map the ecosystem, then the document talks about our capacity. I found that really interesting. It's saying you need to know everyone else's capacity, sure, but also your own strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely critical.
And it suggests, even before you fully know what a partner wants, you should be really clear about what you can offer.
Yes.
So if you're that potential partner looking at this, what message does that send about Université de Moncton?
It sends a very clear message. We're ready, and here's exactly how we can help. They're set up to support commercialization across, the whole range of technology readiness levels. TRLs.
Ah, the TRL scale, like 1 to 9, basic research up to market-ready tech.
Exactly that. They use the standard scale. And they don't just offer one way to work together. They lay out 4 main types of collaboration.
Okay, what are those?
You've got fundamental research, applied research, translational research, and then education and training.
So different stages, different needs. Right. And the actual activities under those headings are super diverse. Things like clinical trials, just straight up problem solving.
Product improvements.
Yeah, product enhancement, feasibility studies, developing use cases, community interventions, even stuff like tech validation or social return on investment analysis.
So pretty much anything a medtech partner might need, they've thought about how they can potentially support it.
That's the idea. It shows they're prepared for various stages and kinds of collaboration.
That's a really strong foundation. Okay, so let's get into the actual questions they ask potential partners.
Right, the screening questions.
Yeah, and they're organized by that ecosystem model you mentioned. It feels like a very structured initial chat.
It is. So, starting with products and services, the first thing they ask is about the TRL, the technology readiness level.
Straight away.
Yep. And they specifically mention using the scale from ISDID Canada, Innovation, Science, and Economic Development Canada.
Why is that the very first question?
Because it immediately tells them if you need help with, say, basic science, or if you're closer to needing late-stage validation. It helps them line up the right resources and expectations from the get-go. Avoids mismatch.
Makes sense. And I noticed this question. Even if your product works now, is there a specific tech challenge you could add to make it stand out? That feels quite forward-thinking.
It is, isn't it? It shows they're not just interested in validating current tech, but in pushing the envelope, real innovation.
Looking for that competitive edge.
Exactly. Then they ask for the basics, website link, business or marketing plan for Canada, any sales history.
Why sales? Does that mean they only want established companies?
Not necessarily only established, but seeing any sales, even early ones, suggests the partner has at least started thinking about the market. It hints at a better chance of commercial success later.
Ah, okay, a sign of market awareness.
Right. And then some critical ones. Is it classified as a medical device here in Canada or elsewhere?
Regulatory stuff,
No.
crucial in med tech.
Absolutely. And has it been validated by experts? Are there scientific publications supporting its use, its effectiveness, usability for the market you're aiming at?
So they need evidence. They're not just taking your word for it.
Definitely not. It shows they want rigorous, evidence-based partnerships.
And then, connecting right back to where this all started, they ask if you're interested in the NB MedTech Summit, attending, exhibiting, presenting, sponsoring.
Bring it full circle. A direct pathway to engage with their network.
Okay, then moving on to the research category of questions.
Here, the focus shifts a bit. They ask if you want to understand the socioeconomic impact of your product in Canada.
So beyond just the tech working, what's the bigger picture?
Exactly. Or maybe you need validation by experts in a simulated clinical setting. Again, it shows they're thinking about real-world application and societal benefit, not just fixing a technical glitch.
Though they do also ask about solving a specific technical issue, right? For better functionality or that competitive edge we mentioned.
Oh, yes, that practical problem solving is definitely still there.
And this section gets very hands-on, asking about pilot studies with health authorities.
Right. Hospitals, pharmacies, long-term care homes.
Or even community campaigns. Things like education or addressing specific issues like immunization drives.
Yeah, very concrete, real-world stuff.
Okay, what about incubation? What kind of questions fall under that?
This is about fostering adoption. So, are you interested in incubating or maybe showcasing your tech with partners, like embedding it in academic settings to help people learn about it and start using it?
Sort of like a living lab.
Kind of, yeah. Facilitating that knowledge transfer and market entry. And then it gets really practical. Do you need office space?
Yeah.
In Moncton? Somewhere else in New Brunswick?
Okay.
How many employees do you think you'd hire if the market pans out and you're full production? What specific resources do you need? Equipment, other partners, skilled people you'd hire locally?
Wow, they're really thinking about the logistics of setting up.
They are. Even asking about the type and size of space you'd need. It's not just, do you need an office? It's, how can we help you actually establish yourself here?
That's quite comprehensive. It goes beyond just research collaboration.
Definitely. Then, under research again, but focus more on specific capacities.
Ah, drilling down.
Exactly. Do you need access to fundamental research? Like preclinical in vivo trials, that's testing in living organisms, usually animals.
Before humans.
Right. Or pharmacodynamics assays, cancer research, inflammation studies. They're listing specific areas of strength.
And contract services, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need genetic sequencing, molecular analysis, nutritional analysis, engineering feasibility studies, market surveys? They're trying to precisely match a partner's needs to their specific institutional capabilities.
Very detailed mapping. Now, the funding questions. You mentioned directness earlier.
Yeah, they don't really beat around the bush here.
What's fascinating is they just ask, do you have funding to co-sponsor the research you want to do? Whether it's trials, pilots, fixing tech issues.
It's a clear signal. They're looking for partners who are ready to invest alongside them. It shows commitment.
And alongside that, the basic corporate details.
Yeah, simple but necessary. Are you incorporated in Canada? How many employees? Where's the head office? It helps gauge the company's structure and readiness for operating in Canada.
Okay. Then governance. That sounds important, but maybe a bit vague.
The question is actually very straightforward. Are you familiar with the Canadian market?
Simple enough.
And if not, do you need help navigating things like funding applications, immigration processes, that sort of thing?
Ah, so it's about identifying support needs for actually doing business here.
Precisely. Very practical.
And finally, health authorities. This sounds like it gets into the clinical trial specifics.
It does. Do you need clinical trials? Where? Hospitals, long-term care, home care, and the big one, can you fund them?
The funding question again seems critical for trials.
Absolutely. Clinical trials are expensive. They also ask where you are with Health Canada approvals for starting a trial.
Okay, the regulatory status.
Yes. In defining the clinical stage of your product in Canada, is it still in vivo, preclinical, or are you actually at the human clinical trial stage here?
Yeah.
It clarifies exactly where things stand from a regulatory and development perspective.
So putting it all together, this questionnaire, it's way more than just a form. It's a whole strategic framework.
It really is.
It gives University of Moncton this incredibly solid way to find and, well, nurture collaborations that are actually going to make an impact.
Moving way beyond just surface interest.
Yeah, it gets to real alignment, real capacity matching. It certainly gives us clear insights into how seriously this institution takes building successful partnerships.
It's a very meticulous approach built on experience.
Absolutely.
And, this deep dive into how University of Moncton does it, it raises an important question for you, the listener. How could you use the principles we've talked about? This kind of comprehensive, empirically based approach to profiling partners. One that looks for deep alignment and mutual capabilities, not just, a casual connection.
Even outside medtech.
Yeah, absolutely. In your own work, maybe even personal projects, what are the real questions you should be asking to truly understand if a potential collaborator is the right fit? Something to think about.